Hi guys, and welcome back here to Drone in Motion. Today we're back here once again with brand new information and some brand new leaks for all of you regarding the long awaited DJI Mavic 3, and that is because some brand new images have been leaked revealing some brand new information about the upcoming Mavic 3. And in today's video we're going to be sharing them with you, talking about the specs of the drone, including camera specs, flight time, and of course we're also going to be talking about the updated release date, what's going on and when can we expect to see this new Mavic 3. But before we get started with today's video, if you're new to the channel, welcome here, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because in this channel we will always be the first ones to bring in the most recent drone news no matter what. So if you want to keep up to date with any updates on whether it is the Mavic 3, the Mini 3, the Evo 3 from Autel, or any other drone that is releasing this year, guys, you know that this is the place to come for all of those updates. And also we're currently in the road to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're watching today's video and you're not subscribed yet, well, I invite you to go ahead and join the Drone in Motion family so you can help us reach that goal, which we're really not that far away from. We're less than 3,000 subscribers away. I know we can do it together, guys. So without any much further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into today's video, which is going to be quite exciting. Well, about 2 weeks ago, you might remember that we got the first more consistent leaks of the Mavic 3 thanks to our great friend and YouTuber Rafael from Drone Modelismo. He was able to get an exclusive access and view to the Mavic 3. Unfortunately, he was not able to share full images of the Mavic 3, and then instead of that he had to draw the Mavic 3 just as how he saw it. And well, 2 weeks ago we shared with you those images, which we're going to be taking a quick look again for everyone who missed out on that video. Those were sketches, they were not actual images, but what we have today is something more specific, more precise, revealing a lot more detail from what we had previously. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Rafael had for all of us about 2 weeks ago for everyone that missed out on that video, and then we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what we just got today right here on screen, my friends. Those are the sketches that he made. Now they're not bad, the proportions of the drone are there. I mean, it looks quite good. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I mean, that's the thing here. But even though they don't show a whole lot detail of the drone, we can see some of the most crucial and important things of that drone, which include the camera and of course the obstacle avoidance. I mean, they're good, but what we have today are a whole lot more revealing. So why don't we just go ahead and take a look at these images, which were shared to us thanks to our good friend Jasper Allen in Twitter. He's also a pretty good, reliable source when it comes to the Mavic 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at the brand new images that we just got today right here on screen, guys. So there we have them. So the first image that we have right there is the front fascia of the drone. Now when you compare this image to the one from our good friend Rafael, which we just shared with you, well, you can see a whole lot more detail, especially in the front nose of the aircraft. When it comes to that opening in the top, that air scoop, we can see a whole lot more detail right there. I mean, this looks really good. Then aside from that, when we start to move on down, there we see our obstacle avoidance sensors. Now the first thing that we know is that this new Mavic 3 is going to be having some brand new obstacle avoidance sensors. Now they have been increased in size significantly, and they are going to be quite similar to what we find on the Autel Evo 3, which has also been leaked, and we have made a video talking about it. If you missed it, make sure you check it out. It's a really good one, because we're going to be having the Evo 3 and the Mavic 3 release this year. So the obstacle avoidance is going to be quite similar. The size of the sensors have been increased. Now on the bottom we find our camera, which is going to be a double setup camera, and there we can see the H, which stands for Hasselblad. So this camera is going to be made by Hasselblad, there's no doubt about that. We have received that information confirmed from different sources, and now here we can prove it with this new kind of image or sketch, which shows a lot more detail. So we have a double setup camera. In the bottom one, we're going to be having a 5.7K resolution with an aperture of f2.8, and it's going to be a 24 lens millimeter equivalent, which is not bad. And then DJI will also include a 16mm lens adapter for a wider field of view. Now, the aperture most likely will be variable, still not confirmed yet. And then in the top we have our zoom lens, which is going to be able to give us a 7x zoom, which is really good. So what we have right here is basically a Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom combined, a 2-in-1, which I think is good. And what about the size sensor? Well, it is still not confirmed, the size sensor for this drone. Most likely it's going to be a 1-inch sensor, because we know there are going to be two different variants. We're going to be having the Mavic 3 and then the Mavic 3 Pro. So the main differences will be in the camera. So most likely what we have right here is a 1-inch sensor. Now, let's go ahead and keep on moving on and take a look at our second image. And there we have it. That is the back of the drone of the new Mavic 3. Now, this is definitely a really good view, and this is definitely giving us a whole lot more detail than what we got previously from those previous sketches. This shows a whole lot more definition, a whole lot more detail, and the first thing that comes to our eye and that we can see is those obstacle avoidance rear sensors, which have now been shifted. In the past, in the Mavic 2, they were positioned in the middle, and well, they have now been shifted to the corners of the aircraft. Now, why has DJI done this? Well, they've done this for various reasons. The first one is because they have decided to remove the side sensors that were previously found on the Mavic 2, and then what they did was that they placed these new sensors in the corners. Why did they decided to do this? Well, they did this because they wanted to save some weight, number one. Second one, they, instead of having 4 sensors, they are now able to get just 2, but still get that full coverage with that 360 degree. So that's nice. Guys, very important that you stay calm. The Mavic 3 will still be having 360 degree obstacle avoidance. There's no need to panic about that. Even though the side sensors have been removed, these corner sensors are going to be having a super wide field of view. Now, on top of those, we can see our upward obstacle avoidance sensors, and then right next to that we can see the heatsink, and on top of that, right in front, we see the DJI logo and the props, which look quite big. And then moving to the left, we see those air scoops once again on the left, those gills. I think they look really good. Now, keep in mind this drone is going to be needing to cool down a lot because it's going to be a very powerful drone. So there's going to be a lot of openings in this drone. And then in the back, we can see the battery. And keep in mind, this battery is going to be inserted from the back, and it's going to be giving us a flight time of 45 minutes, which is definitely quite impressive. It's definitely a big upgrade over what we had previously with the Mavic Pro at 31 minutes of flight time. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our last image. There we have it, and that is a look at the belly of the drone. Underneath, it looks really good. This image gives a lot more detail, even though it's not a full HD image. I mean, this is a much better sketch or 3D rendering that was made. There we can see the props. First thing that we see on the right hand side is the fact that quick release props are still going to be a thing. That has not changed. Then underneath we see our optical flow sensors with that heatsink, which is going to be needed in order to cool all of those electronics down. And then on top of that, we see our LED light, just as what we had with the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom. That's still going to be conserved, something that is very useful and really comes in handy. And then right on top of that, we see that it says Mavic Pro. That is very interesting because we know that there are going to be 2 different versions. We don't know which this belly belongs to, if it's from the Mavic 3 or from the Mavic 3 Pro. Apparently it's going to belong to the Mavic 3 Pro. And then we also got confirmation from our friend Rafael that even though it doesn't say Mavic 3 Pro underneath, it says only Mavic 3 on the arm of the drone. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We now know that the Mavic name is still going to be happening. We told you about these guys about 2 weeks ago, and well, we just got confirmation once again that is going to be what we're going to be having with this new Mavic 3. The name will be preserved, and DJI will not be dropping the beloved Mavic name. Now, with The Mavic 3, we're going to be having an internal memory. It's going to be a 1TB solid state drive, and then with the standard Mavic 3 and not the Mavic 3 Pro, which is going to be the one which has a 1TB internal memory, we're not going to be having any memory in the inside. You're going to still be needing to use your SD card, which for me it's not a big deal. I have no problem just using my SD card. And well, what about transmission? Well, the Mavic 3 will utilize Oxygen 3.0. No need to worry about that. Oxygen 4.0, it's not happening. It looks like DJI will be sticking to 0.3 for this new Mavic 3. So let's finish this video off talking about release date. When will it be happening? Well, my friends, we've talked to you previously and we've said to you over 5 different sources have confirmed this to me. It looks like this still will be the year of the Mavic 3. There's no need to panic about that, and it looks like late October at the soonest is when the Mavic 3 could be happening, or November is more likely. But those are the current dates. Keep in mind that they are subject to change. Everything will happen, but that is what we're dealing with right now. It's just a matter of a couple more months, 2 more months at the most. But this is right around the corner, and especially now with Autel releasing their Evo 3 and with Hubsan releasing a Mavic 3 competitor, this is going to force DJI to release the Mavic 3, and I have no doubt about that. So those are the latest images that we have for all of you today, and all the detail that we know till today. As soon as we have any more new information, you know you're gonna be having it and hearing it here first. This is Drone Emotion, signing out.